Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Elizabeth.
Oh, Zaron.
You know, I saw you walk in and I was like, oh my God, I've got this question I want to ask her. Do you mind if you got a second?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Do you know what's ridiculous?
I do know it's ridiculous.
Would you please share?
Yeah, I think I can do that. You're a smoothie guy, right? You like smoothies?
Yes, that just sounded weird. You're a smoothie guy.
You're a smoothie guy.
Yeah, no, I do love smoothies.
Yeah, and so smoothies.
Uh-huh.
There's like Jamba Juice. You like Jamba Juice?
I used to, back when it used to be good.
Yeah, it's not good anymore. What about Smoothie King?
I have never actually been there that I can think of.
No, okay. Well, that's ridiculous.
Got something to look forward to, huh?
That's what's ridiculous. Okay, so a while back, we got a ton of messages. This is like last year about something that Skittles did. I don't remember what it was.
This is another mashup.
Well, hold on. It just the messages wouldn't stop, and then a week or two ago, it started up again. But it wasn't about Skittles.
Oh,
it's about Smoothie King.
Okay.
And we have gotten so many, like carrier pigeon, Instagram, email.
Telegraphs.
Yeah, telegraphs. I got like a singing telegram.
Nice. That's classy.
It was phenomenal. So anyway, everyone's told us about this.
Sure.
Absolutely everyone, which means that this episode will air and then for another 3 months, people will still tell us about it. Anyway.
Yes.
So Smoothie King is teamed up with another brand because, honey, we got ourselves a mashup.
Oh, yay.
Although I will say, okay, so friend of the show, regular messenger contributor, Mark McCubbin on Instagram.
All right. What's up, Mark?
He sent us pictures of screen caps that he took, pictures of a TV screen with CNN doing a piece where the Chiron said, Harry Enton breaks down the food collabs that worked and didn't. So, and he said, like, they're basically stepping on our toes. So aside from that, so we're not the only mashup people in the game. You're part of this.
You.
Whether you like it or not.
You and Harry Enton.
I'm taking you down with the ship. Anyway, so Smoothie King.
Yes.
They teamed up with Heinz.
Oh, God.
You know, they're both food purveyors.
Sure.
And they have a limited edition ketchup smoothie.
I was going to guess.
Ketchup smoothie. So
tomato is a fruit, Elizabeth.
It is a fruit. So this has like acai sorbet, strawberries, raspberries, apple juice, and then a whole lot of ketchup.
Ugh.
And so it's like a sweet, savory thing. It's got tang to it. It is, there are no artificial colors.
Oh, thank goodness.
But it just looks like you're sucking on a cup of ketchup.
I'd rather drink
Catsup.
a cup of actual Tang, the old juice, fake juice.
That stuff was bad.
The stuff that the astronauts
We were
would drink.
never allowed to have that.
No, I
it
don't
was
think I've
fake
ever
food.
tried it, but I would rather try that.
Yeah, I think I had it a couple times and it was like, whew, buddy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Either way, it's $5.70 if you're into it.
Are they paying you for this?
Oh, they should.
Are you
All these
sponsored?
people should. While supplies last. It's at Smoothie King locations in Atlanta,
Oh, let me get a pen. I'll write this down.
Chicago, Denver, Miami, and then parts of the greater New York area and northern New Jersey.
There you go.
And there it is. So if you're in those
So if I'm
metro
in Newark,
areas,
I can get some.
go chug-a-lug a ketchup smoothie.
There you go.
And then crap yourself and hate yourself.
I will never understand the appeal of these mashups.
I know. And I hate them.
And you do
and
it to
I can't
us
stop.
every day.
You know what that
every
is?
time.
You know what that is, Zaron?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I'll give you that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I've got something that's ridiculous
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I know it's about to be one of your favorite times of the year. It's about to be the start of college football season.
You know, I'm just like a huge football fan.
Totally.
I'm all football, 42 blue.
Yeah, right? So I gathered up a few of my favorite college football rivalries and the related hijinks that are both criminal and ridiculous.
Yes.
College football rivalries are intense.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we've already covered the outrageous story of the Texas A&M versus Rice
It was
University
so
one,
good,
right?
so
Where
good.
they abducted Rice's mascot, the human-sized
Terrifying owl.
and then led to a full-on military takeover of a small Texas town. That's a good one. Well, this time, Elizabeth, we have some equally insane college football-inspired antics.
Okay.
Not one, not two, but three at least. So buckle up, Buttercup. Things are about to get college football wild.
Ow.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
Yes.
Oh, Elizabeth.
I like your sheer blue pants that you're wearing.
Thank you. A friend of mine made these. And
They're interesting.
They're very airy.
They're very sheer.
Yes. You can see a lot of leg.
It's daring. You're brave. You're a brave man.
I'm a fashion icon waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Now, Elizabeth,
Yes.
I know you lived in South Carolina for a while.
I did.
Which means you know how huge college football is in the South.
Yeah.
I think SEC football is second in popularity only to Jesus. And it's a close second.
Yeah.
So, did you ever go to a game while you were living in South Carolina?
Nope.
Did you ever see the Gamecocks? No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I got another question for you. What do you know about Auburn football?
That's not South Carolina.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with South Carolina, but it's in the SEC.
Auburn.
It's Southern football.
Yeah. It's football.
The University of Auburn, it's located in Auburn. Alabama. And in Bama. Just like in South Carolina, where you were, the locals love them some Auburn football. Uh-huh. And I thought we'd start out with a story about Auburn. Start at the top and go down from there. Now, Elizabeth, this story happened 2 centuries ago.
2 centuries ago?
Way back in 1896.
Well...
It's 2 centuries ago.
That's not full 2 centuries ago.
I didn't say that. 2 centuries ago. 20th century, 19th century. That's 2 centuries ago.
I'm thinking like 200 years ago, which
that
would have been amazing.
That would be 200 years ago. That's what I would have said. That would be 200. But 2 centuries ago.
Okay.
So November 7th, 1896 to be exact, if you want to be able to do the math on how many centuries you would count this as.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, Auburn had a legendary coach by the name of John Heisman. As in the coach who is the namesake of the annual
I've heard
award,
of that guy.
right, for the best college football player in the nation.
I didn't know who it was, but I've heard of the word Heisman.
Trophy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Heisman was a wild guy. Like, he was this full-on character. I won't get too far into him, but, for example, he would shout at his players in a fake British accent.
Oh.
Because he was theorized he was a huge fan of Shakespeare, and he just wanted to bring that Shakespearean vibe to the practice.
Elevate the discourse.
He was quite the character.
Yeah.
Now, before he was at Auburn, John Heisman was a coach at Oberlin College. Uh-huh. And while he was a coach there, the team's trainer was a man named Clarence Hemingway. If that name sounds familiar, there's good reason. Clarence Hemingway was the father of the world-famous writer Ernest Hemingway.
No.
Yeah, a lot of macho energy in this.
Oh, my God, the testosterone.
Right? Anyway, John Heisman's second season as the head coach at Auburn was what I'm about to tell you about, and he was just beginning to build his legendary career and his bona fides. Mm-hmm. Now, the sports writer Fuzzy Woodruff, which is just such a perfect Southern name, right?
Fuzzy Woodruff.
Especially for a sports writer in the South.
Yeah.
So old Fuzzy Woodruff would later credit Heisman as being, quote, the pioneer of Southern football, but he wasn't that yet.
Yeah.
Now, not just, by the way, Southern football. Heisman was one of the most innovative coaches in the nation because, well, as a coach, he invented the tradition of a quarterback saying hike as a signal to center to snap the ball.
Like hike.
Yeah, or as you would say, 42 blue.
42 blue.
Yeah, so anyway, back to this game. Back on November 7th, 1896, that was Auburn's first official home game ever.
Okay.
Their opponent for their first home game was a rival from Georgia, neighboring state, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't the Georgia Bulldogs. Instead, they were facing Georgia Tech, which is from Atlanta, my first hometown.
Right.
Now, in their previous game, Auburn had beaten a team from Mercer University to the tune of 46-0. So they were good.
That's a spanking.
Yes. Now, while Georgia Tech had faced that same team and only beaten them 6-4.
Oh.
Which, if you were into football, that means Mercer only scored 2 safeties.
I was going to say, I didn't know that 4 was something you could do.
It's a really hard score to get in football.
That was an accomplishment.
So that game had gone down on Halloween, and now basically a week later on November 7th, they're going to face Auburn and Coach John Heisman. Mm-hmm. Now, everyone expected it to be a good game, though. Now, last time these two teams faced, it was not a good game. They'd faced in Atlanta, and Auburn beat Georgia Tech 96-0.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Don't they normally, now they stop it if it's too much of a massacre, right?
You know that. That's like more at baseball.
Oh.
Or kids baseball where they stop it until the
Haven't
score.
I've seen
they'll switch
NFL?
away. They'll switch away from the game. They will no longer show it on TV.
Oh, but they'll just let them.
Yeah, once they're up by 4 or 5 scores, they'll often switch away.
It's just a bloodbath and they just let it go.
But they just let it go. You'll still see crazy scores now. What do you mean?
I think it's more fun to watch something
a bloodbath?
something, embarrassing. And
Well, by the way, this 96-0 score, it's one of the greatest, most lopsided losses in college football history.
I would imagine so. I mean, that's like 96 is like basketball score.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now, that's like basically you're scoring every time and then also on defense.
Yeah.
So, no, at this point, you better believe Georgia Tech was like Liam Neeson in Taken, hell-bent on handling their business, right? They wanted to get back. Trouble for them was, coming into this fateful 1896 game, Georgia Tech, their team had no coach.
Like zero. Not
no
like,
coach.
oh, this guy's nothing. Yeah, like there was no one there.
They were like the players would agree on like what's going to happen. And you play safety, I'll play, that kind of thing.
It was a ghost.
Yeah. And they're facing the soon to be legend, John Heisman and Auburn, right?
So Heisman versus nobody.
Yes, exactly.
That's good stuff.
That's it. It's not looking good for old Georgia Tech, but people still thought it was going to be a good game. Don't ask me why. But what no one expected was that Auburn was also ready for Georgia Tech. I'm talking super ready. Like, for instance, they knew exactly the overnight train that Georgia Tech's team was taking to get to Auburn. So they decided to have a little surprise waiting for the boys from Georgia Tech. Some students from Auburn wanted to give them an unforgettable welcome to Alabama. And to do that, on a near moonless night, they snuck down to the train station. They brought with them, a bunch of bacon grease and lard, a.k.a. pig fat. And why would they need bacon grease? Great question, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Well, they proceeded to grease the train tracks for the length of about 4 football fields on either side of the train depot. And that would make it damn near impossible for the train carrying Georgia Tech to stop.
What is wrong with these people?
You can probably guess what happened when the train with Georgia Tech arrived.
Yeah.
That's right. When the train conductor hit the brakes, the train just slid.
That could have been terrible.
Oh, completely. Right on past the train depot. The train did not stop sliding until it was 5 miles past the depot.
5 miles?
Halfway to the next town. So when the train finally stopped sliding on the pig grease tracks, the Georgia Tech players climbed down off the train, and they had to walk now back the 5 miles to Auburn.
Yeah.
And they had to carry with them all their gear and their luggage and everything they brought with them. Yeah. Luckily, they didn't have like modern football pads and helmets, but still lugging their like leather head helmets.
They had like a little leather skull cap.
Totally, exactly.
And then like a heavy wool sweater.
And then they have some slight pads that they can carry with them, right? And then obviously their cleats and their luggage. So they're lugging all this through the Alabama woods, following these lard-greased railroad tracks back to Auburn.
Yeah.
Now, that 5-mile hike went down just before dawn, which must have been a brutal slog. Like you're tripping on the railroad ties, you're rocking over all these little rocks.
Well, and I just had this
they're wearing like leather shoes and wool
flash
pants.
Of these guys, they're athletic dudes, but not in like, what if we could take a big old football player from today?
Sure.
And go back in time.
And just kill?
And put him on one of those teams.
Yes.
He'd kill somebody.
Yes, they would.
Like heads would fly off bodies.
There are players now who are pushing over 400 pounds. It was a big deal when they crossed 300 pounds. Now we're over 400 pounds.
Yeah, so you'd have a guy who's like
220 versus
175
exactly.
and like, kind of nimble and light on his toes.
Oh, crazy
and,
legs, yeah.
Only smokes a pack a day. And then, then you get some guys all push and just like launches him into the crowd. Yeah. I would like to see that.
I bet you would.
That'd be a good...
Apparently you're a fan of bloodshed.
I am.
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, the Georgia Tech players, they didn't know this was a prank. They just thought it was like the train had a malfunction, the brakes failed, right? So at this point, they're not mad at Auburn. Yeah. They're just pissed at their bad luck. So they couldn't even use the anger in the game. Instead, they showed up back in Auburn exhausted, irritated, and now they have to play the game. As you might imagine, the game later that same day did not go well for Georgia Tech.
Oh.
They didn't score a single point. They lost to Auburn 45-0.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Auburn students celebrated their lopsided victory with a parade. The students wore pajamas and they marched through the streets, which became a new annual tradition that was now known as the Rec Tech Pajama Parade. Yes. And this continued until the 21st century, to about 2003.
Really?
Yeah. Each year, Auburn students lead a parade to the same train depot, and they hold a pep rally to mock Georgia Tech.
In their pajamas.
In pajamas.
That's the cat's pajamas.
So that's SEC football for you.
Yeah.
The kids damn near crashed a train just to pull hijinks against a rival who they had destroyed the year before.
They could have been an absolute disaster.
It wasn't like they were on the losing side and they needed to do the hijinks to like help their team get an edge. They're the bullies.
They're punching down, and then they punch down after.
Yes. And they punch the fans. They punch their mamas.
Everything.
Punch your mama right in the mouth. Now, okay, I got another one for you from the SEC. This one's also for producer D, since it features his favorite college football team, LSU.
Oh.
But first, let's take a little break, and after these messages, we'll be back with more college hijinks that cross over into the ridiculously criminal.
Nice.
We're back, Elizabeth.
Hey.
Ready for more college football pranks?
It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. We started out with that nice Auburn amuse-bouche. Now we're going to get into something a little bit crazier. Because this one takes place in the 20th century in December of 1950.
Okay.
A little mid-century madness for you. So a Tulane student named Norbert James went for a coon hunt, a raccoon hunting. Not a coon hunt. With a few of his fellow Tulane students, a cat named Oscar Reese, Joe Miller, and Tex Powell.
Okay, wow.
Right? Great names.
Yeah, that's a crew right there.
It was the night before their big rivalry game, LSU versus Tulane, at the Sugar Bowl. Now, after their coon hunt, the boys stopped off at a place called College Inn, and that's where they noticed something strange. There was this long trailer parked behind the restaurant, and the trailer had a big cage on top of it, like you'd see on a circus train.
Okay.
And when they crept closer, they saw that inside the cage on this trailer was a tiger. But not just any tiger, it was Mike the Tiger, the mascot for LSU.
Mike.
Yeah. No,
Mike the Tiger.
Typically, a vet student was in charge of taking care of Mike the Tiger on road games and had driven Mike the Tiger down to New Orleans from Baton Rouge. Now, he stopped to grab a bite to eat because when he arrived, it was like a little past midnight, and he parked behind the restaurant. And now it's around 1 a.m. when they find the tiger cage.
Mike was like, can you just go get me some chili cheese fries?
Big bowl of milk.
Just flipping through a magazine, waiting, sitting with his legs crossed.
Yeah, pawing at his hair. How do I look? I got a big game tomorrow. Now, I imagine that these boys have been doing some drinking during their coon hunt. Yeah. But I don't know this for certain, but you'll figure out why soon. Either way, the boys decided, let's steal LSU's tiger.
How crazy is it, by the way, just to put a pause on this, to hunt raccoons?
No,
it just, I don't know.
I think squirrel hunting is a little crazier.
That's even worse. That's even worse. But
raccoons are at least kind of a gnarly, mean animal in the wild.
What do they call them? The trash pandas, right? Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know. We got a lot of raccoons here in California, and they're, they break into garbage and stuff like that. But
in the South, they're kind of surly. Like they'll charge you. Like I've had.
I've seen ones down there too. Yeah. But it's like still, it feels very like I'm gonna hunt quail type thing, but release the I don't know. It does not seem like a challenging hunt.
But also you got to remember in the 20th century, in different periods, in the 20s in college football, they had the coonskin hat. And then in the 50s, you had Daniel Boone and the coonskin hat comes back. So maybe they're thinking we can just get some coons, make a little money selling them.
It feels like
I don't think it was for a challenge. I don't think they were doing it like, it's not like big game hunting.
Yeah. And I also just don't I guess they needed to make hats, but I don't like killing for killing's sake.
Or for the tails.
Were they eating the raccoons?
It was the South, probably.
Actually, yeah.
So back to old Mike the Tiger. This, by the way, was a 500-pound big cat. This wasn't like some runt tiger. It was a legitimate Bengal tiger.
A big boy, big daddy.
Yeah. And so they decided, what the hell, let's steal it. And so that's what they did. As Norbert tells the story, we thought there would be some security, but the wheels were not locked. So I undid the trailer and hooked it up to Oscar's car. He didn't have a trailer hitch, so we used a chain. So they drove off in Oscar's 1942 Plymouth with the stolen tiger in tow. Not like in the car. They chained to the trailer to the car and took off. Now,
that's exactly what a Bengal tiger needs in December in the South.
Getting whipped around.
Yeah, that's the way the Lord intended it to be.
At some point, they stopped to phone a friend at Tulane and told told them what they'd done and that they'd stolen LSU's Bengal tiger and that they were going to bring him to campus. So tell everybody we're coming.
Oh, no.
Right? According to Norbert, at one point the chain failed and the trailer came loose from the 42 Plymouth and it rolled on past the car.
Oh, no.
But they managed to catch up to the runaway tiger cage. So they refastened it to the back of the 42 Plymouth and kept on rolling to Tulane. Next, they got pulled over by a cop who was out patrolling late at night. When the cop pulls them over, the boys, they don't panic. Instead, they just tell them, oh, yeah, we're responsible for bringing LSU's tiger. We're transporting it to campus for the game the next day, the big game. Now, being a fan of college football, I assume, the cop was like, well, you boys, be careful now, you hear?
Sure.
And he let them go on their merry way.
Yeah,
It's all
and
the
even
questions.
if they were drinking, they didn't have, like, drunk driving laws.
Oh, yeah, no, not 1950.
No.
Yeah, no.
In fact, they're like, have you guys had enough to drink tonight?
Exactly.
You might drive a little bit better with a couple more beers.
You might focus, Here's one for the road. I got some in my car. Now, when they get to the Tulane campus, students who'd heard about this audacious stunt, they're all there to greet them. They're excited. And there's like a lot of what are we going to do with the tiger? Let's paint the tiger green.
No.
Because Tulane's mascot is the green wave. So they're going to
Their mascot is a wave?
The green wave, yeah.
Like an ocean wave, but green?
There you go.
Okay.
So Norbert didn't want to hurt the tiger. All right, he's like, no, we can't do that. I just want to humiliate LSU. Nothing against the tiger.
Good for you, Norbs.
I thought you'd like to know that.
Yeah, I do like that.
Now, their plan was to keep the tiger until halftime. And then at halftime, they'd drive onto the field with the stolen LSU tiger, and then they'd display him like, we got your tiger.
Okay.
That was the plan.
Like hold a knife to his neck?
Exactly. You and the bloodshed. Now, this plan gets kiboshed when the dean of students heard about the tiger nappers, and he insisted that the stolen tiger be taken off campus before something bad happened to some of the Tulane students.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried about the LSU's tiger, just the Tulane students.
Yeah.
So Norbert and Oscar, they hop back in the 42 Plymouth and they drive the stolen tiger to Oscar's house and they park the tiger and the trailer inside his parents' garage. Problem solved. Later that same night, in the early morning, Oscar's dad heard his hound dogs outside barking and was about to go out to see what the matter was, but instead he told his boy, Oscar, go and check the dogs. That's when his son told his father that there was a stolen tiger hidden in his garage. His father thought about what his son just said, and then he asked him, son, you've been drinking? I guess he didn't believe his son because he and the rest of the family then went out to see said stolen tiger.
Sure, I'd want to see it.
Totally. Sure enough, there was the 500-pound Bengal tiger in their garage.
And then all the hound dogs.
Totally. So meanwhile, word spreads on campus, and soon enough, it's on the radio. They're talking about it like the very early morning hours. And so later that same morning before the game, the Nolans police showed up at Oscar's house to check on reports of a stolen Bengal tiger hidden in his family's garage.
Yeah.
And at this point, the police took Oscar down to the police station for questioning, but he wasn't arrested because, SEC football. All he did was say, we stole LSU's tiger. They're like, good on you, boys.
Good for you.
Now, meanwhile, the tiger was eventually returned to LSU, and he was there on the sidelines for the game. He made it game time.
Yeah.
He's a bit tired, a bit listless after his long, strange trip the night before.
Yeah.
And the game ended in a 14-14 tie.
Oh,
Yes.
And they didn't do overtime? They just
No, apparently not.
did it like soccer?
Yeah, it's like, that's enough game for today.
But the tiger's tired,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. Go look at Mike. His eyes are barely open. He's just
They
drooling.
got Mike drugged to the gills for these things.
So as a result of their tiger napping, Norbert and Oscar and the other guys were banned from LSU's campus for life.
What
Now,
do they care?
Totally, exactly. They're like, I never want to go there
I don't
anyway.
go there. All
So
right.
for Norbert, who lived the longest of all the guys, he ended up being banned for 50 years until finally, in 2007, he received a letter on LSU stationery, and the letter read, and I quote, "It has been called to our attention that you were involved in the famous 1950 tiger napping crime. We understand that, at the time, you were banned from the LSU campus. While your stunt wreaked havoc on our team, we assume by now that you have realized the seriousness of your heinous crime. In the spirit of forgiveness, we are absolving you of all guilt. We feel that your 50-year exile from the LSU campus is sufficient punishment for your bad deed. Therefore, you are welcome to visit the LSU campus."
I love getting banned from somewhere I wouldn't go anyway.
Exactly. It's like, I can't come down to the trash place. But Norbert had no desire, obviously, to set foot on the LSU campus because that's how it is for SEC football teams. You're just like, I would never go there. I'd rather,
Yeah.
So their loyalty just runs that deep, ridiculously deep, criminally deep.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's bounce out of the SEC and let's check in on the first big college football team rivalry for the classic, the very first, the original college football team rivalry, which was Harvard and Yale.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, this story may be about Harvard and Yale, but it's really about MIT.
Oh.
You typically don't think of MIT in college football.
Not really.
Some people may even be thinking, do those nerds even have a
I don't
football
know.
team?
Maybe they do. Who's
yes,
to
yes,
say?
they do, Elizabeth. The MIT engineers.
Good for them.
They are not good. But that's
Oh,
not
they're
important. No. What is important is
Are
that
they in the big leagues?
I know. So what is important, though, is that the kids from MIT are known for pulling off some epic pranks.
Oh, sure.
Like a bunch of them. Like, for instance, one time for a prank back in the 1930s, 5 MIT students used thermite bombs to make a point. Thermite, Elizabeth.
Wait.
That's the stuff that, unlike jet fuel, can melt steel beams. So apparently, led by the merry prankster Ken Wadley, he and 4 other MIT students, they created their homemade thermite bomb. They found a streetcar, and then they distracted the motorman, the guy driving the streetcar, and then they set off their thermite bombs, and they used the superheated chemical bomb to weld the streetcar to the rails. That's how hot it burns.
Oh
it
my
welded
God.
the steel wheels to the steel.
Did they provide a manifesto explaining why they did this?
No, but good on you. We'll get back to that point a little bit later about manifestos. By the way, that merry prankster Ken Wadley would go on to become a dean at MIT.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, back to the Harvard-Yale game. In 1983, Harvard was facing Yale for their big annual rivalry game. It was a foregone conclusion that the Harvard Crimson would likely win the game. Everybody knew that, but some geeks at MIT were dedicated to winning the day for themselves with an epic prank. They weren't even in the game.
Oh, they're just like, I'm going to rain on both of your parades.
Exactly.
Yes, I love that.
So a bunch of frat brothers from the Delta Kappa Epsilon house, the Deeks, they came up with this plan to embarrass Harvard. So before the game, they snuck into Harvard Stadium, not once, not twice, but 8 times.
Okay.
Why? Well, to set up their prank. So these nerds had it all planned out. I mean, they had blueprints of the stadium. They had the schedule of the security guards' rounds all figured out and clocked. It was a prank that was, by the way, the culmination of 5 years of work.
What?
Yes. Thanks to the MIT Technology Review, we have an exhaustive account of what went down. Starting in 1978, the frat brothers from DKE designed and built the first build of the eventual apparatus that they would use for their prank. But those frat brothers ended up graduating before they could ever deploy it. And so in 1982, the other Deeks, they learned about these OG plans, and they decided, we're going to go through with it.
Like, this is already so much cooler than, like, get drunk and steal a tiger.
If you say so.
Like, the logistics of it.
Oh, yeah. I think you're going to like this.
I love it.
So according to David Husak, class of 84, the frat bros used a balloon apparatus that their predecessors had designed. And over the course of their 8 trips to the Harvard Stadium, they secretly installed it. As Husak, an electrical engineering major, he recalled it, quote, about 20 guys participated. We go in at 2 a.m. with camo paint on and lookouts in the stadium towers.
I love this so much.
Then, as he also adds, I found the irrigation control board and I wired the apparatus into an empty circuit breaker.
Oh my God. I love this more and more every sentence.
The plan was that when they triggered their apparatus, it would trigger this enormous black balloon that would emerge from the Harvard field with a prank message spelled out on its rubbery skin. Except the nerds messed up a little bit. Their wiring failed. The balloon didn't deploy like they designed, so one of the Deke frat bros had to run down and then finesse his way past the Harvard campus police and talk his way into the electrical room and then hand trigger the device. To do that, he pulled every single circuit breaker there was, and then boom, eventually this desperate move works. As the MIT Technology Review reports it, quote, during the second quarter of the Harvard-Yale football game on November 20th, 1982, a big black balloon with MIT written all over it suddenly emerged from the Harvard Stadium field. The 2 teams were lined up when suddenly our attention shifted toward the sideline, remembers MIT Museum Science and Technology curator Deborah Douglas, who was there. That's when we saw it. Everyone was trying to make out what was written on the balloon. Some of the Harvard police seemed to draw their guns, and then suddenly it exploded. So calling the game for the TV audience at home was legendary college football broadcaster Brent Musburger. Watching it all go down, he tells the TV audience at home that it appears that a bomb has floated down onto Harvard Field and exploded, resulting in a 3-foot crater. Now, I don't want you to worry about Harvard's field because I know how you green thumbs are.
Yeah.
The groundskeeper sprung into action and they were able to repair the grass in the field and the game went on.
Wait, it did blow a crater into it?
A 3-foot crater, yes.
Oh, when the balloon exploded.
It popped, yeah. So the Harvard then eventually went on to defeat Yale 45-7. But after the game, no one was talking about Harvard and their victory. Instead, everyone was talking about MIT.
Yeah.
In fact, some of the frat bros from DKE, they held a press conference where they showed up drinking beers, Budweisers. Some of them were pantsless. It was,
nice.
How do you say, high-spirited. And the MIT frat bros proceeded to explain to the non-nerds what they had done and how it was all actually just a harmless prank. I know it exploded, but it was a harmless prank. So as one geek frat bro told the gathered press, the balloon was, quote, just Freon. It's just what you would get in a refrigerator. It's harmless and it's escaping. It's an inert gas.
Oh my God.
So looking back at their successful prank to embarrass Harvard, one of the deeks later told the Associated Press that, quote, the hardest part of the whole project was trying to scalp tickets to get into the game.
Oh my God.
So now if you ask me, my favorite MIT-related stunt isn't that one. It's one, remember you think about the manifesto?
Yeah.
Well, some students one time snuck onto the Harvard campus and they dressed up the statue of John Harvard as a former Harvard student, specifically Ted Kaczynski, a.k.a. the Unabomber.
Teddy K.
That's some super extra nerdy fun.
Oh my God. So like hoodie,
glasses, yeah.
I love
Possibly
that.
a manifesto. I don't know. Probably not the shack, but Okay, let's take another break and see what's what with some advertisements as some sweet, sweet ads, Elizabeth.
Delish.
Don't worry. There's going to be plenty for everyone.
Oh, thank God.
Back in 2 and 2. We're back, Elizabeth.
Yes.
You ready for some more college football craziness?
Yes.
Right? I saved the best for last.
Does it involve nerds?
You could say yes.
Oh, probably not, though.
Well, no, kind of. I mean, well, you can tell me.
Okay.
This one I picked out just for you.
Oh.
It's all about the big game, a.k.a. Stanford versus Cal.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as you know, Cal, as in UC Berkeley, and Stanford are each other's oldest rivals.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess the year when Cal first faced Stanford in a rivalry game?
Let's say, was it in the 1900s?
No.
Oh, okay. So I think that Cal was founded in 1868, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right to me. I don't know.
Let's say 1873.
1892.
Oh, 1892.
Yeah, but college football really
When did
becomes
football
popular.
become invented?
In the 1890s, you see a lot of the big first games.
They invented football.
This one is 1892, and the team manager for Stanford for that game was a future U.S. president.
Oh, really?
Want to guess which U.S. president led the Stanford team in 1892?
Barack Hussein Obama.
I'll give you a hint. He was the 31st president of the United States, and he is not a beloved president.
Millard Fillmore.
No. The manager of Stanford's football team in 1892 was Herbert Hoover.
Oh.
Yes. Now, before a crowd of 20,000 people packed into the Haight Street grounds, a field in San Francisco, the very first big game was played. The stadium held 15,000 people. Herbert Hoover had expected the crowd to be about 10,000 people, so that's exactly how many tickets he printed up. Obviously, he greatly underestimated the demand.
Herbert.
Instead, 20,000 people filed through the gates.
Turned it into a Hooverville.
Pretty much. So you got like people overflowing the field, right?
So wait, where was this? Like Kezar Stadium?
Basically, yeah. Yeah. So it's at what would later be Golden Gate Park at the top up by Haight Street. And yes. So after he ran out of the printed tickets, Herbert Hoover just stood there at the turnstile collecting coins for people's entry. He tossed all the proceeds into this big wash tub, and basically, you get the idea. The place was a bumping, right?
Yeah.
So after this huge crowd is seated, the stands are packed to standing room only capacity with all these eager fans. The team captains, they go out onto the field to meet with the referee and go over the pregame instructions. Elizabeth, quick question.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you need to play football?
Steroids.
A football.
Oh, a football.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, that day, when the ref asked them for the football, one team captain looked at the other and said, well, hand him the ball. And the other team captain was like, I don't have the ball. I thought you were bringing the football. Turns out no one brought a football.
Wait, no one brought a football. Herbert.
So future president Herbert Hoover, being the leader type that he was, had to act quickly. He had someone climb into a saddle, and they took off on horseback. Why? To go procure a football.
We had to go to Big Five.
Pretty much. It was like old Big Five. The fan on horseback rode to a local sporting goods store. Once he was there, he was like, one football, please. We have the big game going down. So then, with football secured, he hopped back down on the...
Did he buy more than one football?
Let's hope, right? But I think he only bought one. I don't know.
Did Herbert Stanford give him enough money?
I just like to picture him having just one football.
Please. Yeah, and then he holds it he's a
Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, but on horseback.
Yeah, so he hops back on the horse, races back to the Haight Street Stadium, which is, as I said, would be the Golden Gate Field Park.
But, and then later, would be the epicenter of the Summer of Love.
There you go.
The Hay to Ashburn.
Totally. Birth of the hippies and college and the big game of college football.
Isn't that beautiful, Zaron?
Yeah, it's full circle, right?
It is.
Berkeley,
It really
Berkeley.
is. Sunrise, sunset.
Anyway, long story short, Stanford beat Cal in that game 14-10.
Okay.
That was the score for the very first big game between Stanford and Cal.
Yeah.
After that first big game was all said and done, future President Herbert Hoover counted up the money from the gate, and he found that he'd collected $30,000.
Wait, in those days, money?
Yes. Now, that's the number I got from Stanford's website, and I'm pretty sure that that's in $1892, which means they were charging, apparently, fans $1.50 a ticket. I looked it up for you, but the official U.S. inflation calculator only goes back to 1913 when the IRS starts.
Okay.
And the Federal Reserve starts. But according to the Consumer Price Index, which goes back to 1892, $1.50 in 1892 would be $53 in 2025, which for a college football game in 1892 seems expensive.
Yeah.
Either way, the receipts from that first big game were enough to pay for the entire next season of college football for Stanford's football team, and thus marks the start of the Cal-Stanford rivalry.
Interesting.
But this is all just an appetizer for what I really want to tell you about, because now we need to skip ahead a few years to 1899.
1899.
Yes. Elizabeth, do you know about the Stanford Axe?
Yeah.
You know about this?
That's the trophy basically that goes back and forth. So whoever wins the big game gets the axe.
Very good. I didn't know about this. I learned all about this.
I didn't go to Cal, but everyone in my family went to Cal. And I grew up going to Cal football games. Yeah. And I'm the family disappointment because I went to the farm school.
You went to Cal Davis instead of Cal Berkeley.
Exactly. And so it's all Cal Berkeley folks, and they are very proud of themselves. Yeah.
Sneer at your Cal Davis.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
But I mean, if I have to choose between Cal and Stanford, hello.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I would take Berkeley over Stanford.
Public schools all day.
Totally. Now, since you already know about the Stanford Axe, I will tell you the story of how the axe came to be.
Oh,
and
yes, I would enjoy that.
Ridiculous. The Stanford Axe is a real axe, and it was a standard issue 12 or 15-inch lumberjack's axe. I found varying accounts of its size. Anyway, back in 1899, at a pep rally for Stanford, the students unveiled the axe and used it to fire up the student body by chopping off the head of a straw man that was dressed up in Cal's colors of blue and gold.
Violent.
Right?
I love it.
But not only that, they were also yelling the Stanford Axe Yell, which is a crazy pep song. The Stanford Axe Yell has lines like, "Give him the axe, the axe, the axe. Where? Right in the neck, the neck, the neck."
Wait, I love this.
Yeah, I thought you would. Now, can you imagine a bunch of students all yelling that at some pep squad cheerleader as they chop the head off a straw man dressed as a Cal supporter? I thought you could.
Why do I suddenly have this bloodlust?
I don't know where it's coming from. Is it the winter of Dark Elizabeth we're getting near?
I think we're in the late summer of bloodlust Elizabeth.
Apparently.
I don't know what happened.
College football season's got you all fired up.
I'm all head up for it.
See, people say our culture today is so violent. But
not
when you read old newspapers, you're
enough.
Like, you don't even know the half.
It's the violence isn't in the right places.
So anyway, back in 1899, at a Stanford-Cal baseball game on April 15th, the Stanford Yell Leaders, that's what they were called, not cheerleaders,
the Yell Leaders. Yeah, because
they were doing their thing, leading the student body in a rousing rendition of the Axe Yell.
Sure.
And they used this real lumberjack axe to chop up some blue and gold ribbons whenever Stanford had a good play in the baseball game.
I'll show those ribbons.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know how you do. I don't know if they're holding them and chopping through them, or if they're on the grass and just chopping.
They're on the grass and they're and it's like, is
going all Swedish Chef on it. I don't know.
And then they see all the pieces of ribbons, and someone's like, "Is this a gender reveal? What's happening here?"
Yeah. So after a bunch of innings of this game, the Cal fans got pissed, right? So what do? In the ninth inning, they go over and they beat up the Stanford Yell Leaders and they steal the axe.
Yes.
Now, I should say that this game wasn't going down in Stanford or at Cal. It was on neutral grounds in San Francisco.
Okay.
According to newspapers of the day, by the end of the game, the Cal fans were so pissed they muscled the axe away from the Stanford Yell Leaders, which then led to, well, you know what? Rather than me tell you about it, Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
And I'd like you to picture it. It's April 15th, 1899, and you, Elizabeth, are in San Francisco. At the moment, you're at a ballpark, one located at 16th Street in Folsom. You happen to be attending a baseball game between local college rivals, Stanford and Cal. The San Francisco ballpark is safe, neutral territory, and so far it's been a hell of a game. Now, in the 9th inning, Cal is rallying back after a stunning triple is cracked off the bat of a Cal player, a two-sport football and baseball star. The game is nearly tied 9-7. But really, you're not so much watching or even attending this game since you are a prop, one that's being used to taunt the Cal students because that's right, Elizabeth, you are the Stanford Axe. You've been busy today, used to chop up blue and gold ribbons to taunt the Cal students. There is now a simmering rage coming from the Cal bleachers, and when this ball game finally comes to its stunning close, Stanford is the victor. You are triumphantly lifted up for one final taunt of the Cal fans. Then you are handed over to a pair of Stanford students called the Guardians of the Axe, to be taken back to Palo Alto at the Stanford campus. But before you make the trip back to Stanford, you hear a hullabaloo begin as nearly a dozen Cal students stop the Stanford students that are carrying you. Suddenly, you're being wrestled out of the hands of a Stanford student. The angry Cal students rip you out of his hands, and then things turn truly wild. You feel the tight grip of a Cal fan as he yanks you away from the Stanford student's hands, and then you feel the cool breeze of speed as he goes running off. You can hear Stanford students shouting as they rally to save you, but mostly you just hear the heavy breathing and the pounding footsteps of the Cal student as he flees the scene. The Cal student sprints all the way to 15th Street, then he heads up a few blocks towards Valencia Street. But before he can get far, this Cal thief is caught and tackled by a pair of Stanford students. You now switch hands. Now Stanford has you back. However, this doesn't last long. As they run back, a mere block later, Cal students catch them and snatch you back. Next, you're handed over to a Cal track star who takes off sprinting like the wind. He makes it a few blocks where he then hands you off to a second Cal student, and in order to make a daring getaway, this second Cal student, joined by others, hops into a horse-drawn wagon and they race off. Wagon wheels crush the gravel as you hear Stanford students calling out, shouting with blood-pumping anger. You don't know the city well since you're a humble lumberjack's axe, but if you did, you would know you're headed uphill towards Noe Street. Stanford students also hop into a wagon of their own and they give chase. Now it's a high-speed wagon chase through the hills of San Francisco. After a quick left and then a right, the Cal students in their wagon speed across Market Street, the main thoroughfare in the city. They make it over to Oak Street, a few blocks away. As the horse-drawn wagon navigates the hilly streets of San Francisco, one of the Cal students spots a butcher shop. Soon enough, you feel the fleeing wagon pull to a dramatic stop. A Cal student hops down, runs into the butcher shop. After a quick exchange of words and money, you feel the butcher saw off your handle. That seems extreme, but now you're much easier to manage or to hide. With your handle removed, the Cal student runs back to the wagon. The horses take off again. The getaway wagon races downhill on Oak Street. It's a steep street. After racing downhill, the getaway wagon heads for Fillmore Street, where the wagon makes a hard left turn and speeds along in its frantic escape. Fillmore Street is packed with wagons and other folks on horseback. A few narrow misses later, the wagon makes another hard turn and speeds down Washington Street until you reach downtown San Francisco. This means even more chaos of midday traffic. At Powell Street, the getaway wagon leans into a hard left turn. Wagon wheels barely hold to the street. If you had eyes, you would see that you're now on Clay Street, racing through the financial district. You can hear the distant foghorns of the San Francisco harbor. Cal students are jubilant, confident they're going to make their escape, but you hear the shrill whistles of San Francisco police officers. The officers, who've been alerted to the axe theft, join in the chase. With both San Francisco cops and the Stanford students in hot pursuit, the Cal students race for the ferry docks as the hooves of the horses clatter against the street. Startled pedestrians leap out of the way of these galloping horses. Meanwhile, the Cal student who grips what's left of you holds you tight to his body as the getaway wagon heads for the ferry building, located there at the end of Market, where the city's main thoroughfare meets the docks. You hear the Cal student call, "Whoa!" and the horses come to a hard stop. The Cal student, gripping you by the axe head, hops down from the wagon and runs for the ferry building. The cops giving chase. They can't be far behind. However, there's other trouble because at the ferry building there await more San Francisco cops, and with them is the president of the student body from Stanford University. Together, they're inspecting every male passenger who attempts to board a ferry across the bay headed back to Berkeley. You hear the Cal student who grips you tight under his overcoat say, "Howdy, what are you doing here?" A young woman's voice answers. It's clear from their tone and their exchange, they know each other. The Cal student asks the young woman if she'll do him a favor. You feel him hand what's left of you over to her, and he asks her to hide you. She's only too happy to help. She sneaks you up under her skirt and holds you tight against her bloomers, her undergarments. Together, they now head to board a ferry that will take them back across the bay to Oakland and not to Berkeley. That's a smart choice. It means they avoid the police and the president of the student body from Stanford, who are watching the gangplank for the Berkeley ferry. After tickets are purchased, the two casually board the Oakland ferry, and with a blast of its foghorn, the boat pulls away from the dock. Oh, what a wild ride for an axe.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
So that's how the Cal students stole Stanford's axe and initiated one of the longest rivalries in college football.
Yeah.
Because even though the axe was stolen from a baseball game, it would go on, as you pointed out, to become the trophy for the school's annual big game in college football.
Unbelievable.
But there's a lot more to this story.
Oh.
Elizabeth, what I just told you was true, or essentially true, as in it all happened.
Yeah.
I did dramatize it a bit because we don't know the exact details of the chase, but there was a fight over the axe, the high-speed chase through San Francisco. In fact, there's a hand-drawn map you can find of that chase and the crazed path that I just described through the city's busy streets.
Oh my
and it was all
God.
true about the ferry building, dodging the cops, chopping off the axe handle, the president of the Stanford student body. All that's true. And the daring Cal students sneaking aboard a ferry to cross the bay and make it safely back to the Cal campus with Stanford Axe, also all true. But the last part of the story, that's where the legend comes in. Because according to historians who've looked into this, the part about the ferry left out some key details on purpose. So now I'll tell you what the Cal and Stanford historians have come to say is the true, full story of what happened to the Stanford Axe and how it was taken back to Berkeley.
Yeah.
Carl Hu of Stanford and Cameron
Carl
Wolf of Cal uncovered the actual ending of this crazy chase. When that final fleeing Cal student in the getaway wagon, he was a dude named Clinton Miller, when he got to the ferry building, he met a fellow Cal student named Everett Brown. Everett Brown took the Stanford Axe from Clinton Miller, who must have been exhausted from his crazy wagon chase.
Right.
And so, according to the two historians of this wild event, Everett Brown pulled like a Bugs Bunny to get the Stanford Axe back to Cal. And what I mean by that is, well, as Stanford historian Carl Hu tells it, and I quote, Everett Brown saw the cops waiting as he got to the ferry building, so he quickly bought a dress from a pushcart peddler at the foot of Market Street and changed in a nearby alley, and then he and Clinton Miller walked onto the boat as a couple.
Oh my God, that's even better.
And that's not all.
That's better than the legend.
The antics were a major source of embarrassment for Brown's rich family, because as the Cal historian Cameron Wolf adds to the telling, and I quote, his mother and grandmother were horrified when they heard about it. His grandmother was the wife of the richest man in town, Frederick Delger, who owned all of downtown Oakland between Telegraph and Broadway from 8th Street to 20th Street. They were afraid that the scandal would harm Everett's budding legal career, so Clint agreed to take the blame. It wasn't the theft that appalled them so much, it was that he had dressed as a woman.
Oh God, get over it.
So either way, those two managed to get to the Stanford Axe safely back to Berkeley. That night, there's a celebration on the campus as the Stanford Axe is paraded around before throngs of cheering Cal students, right?
Yeah.
Later on, it's secretly stored under a bed at the Chi Phi fraternity house. And when the Stanford student body heard about this denigration of their axe, a band of 30 Stanford students showed up on the Cal campus to get their axe back. They went to the frat house, broke in, tore the place apart looking for their stolen axe. They found no axe. The axe was there, hidden in the space behind a sliding door. I imagine like in the space where the door slid into.
Sure.
Either way, they missed it. Defeated again, the Stanford raiding party left. After its night at the frat house, the Stanford Axe was later then moved to a bank vault for safekeeping.
Oh, no way.
Where it stayed for the next few decades.
Whoa.
And each year, the Cal students would bring the Stanford Axe out of hiding and parade it around at the Greek Theater on the Cal campus for their annual pep rally before the big game against Stanford's football team. Elizabeth, they did this for 30 years.
Oh my God, I love it.
But then, in 1930, a brave group of Stanford students, dubbed the Immortal 21, staged a new raid. They snuck onto the Cal campus on the night of the annual pep rally at the Greek Theater before the big game. The Immortal 21, they show up prepared to do whatever it takes to get back the Stanford Axe. As their stolen axe was about to be returned to the bank, where it's always kept safe, a few of the Immortal 21 pretend to be guards of the Stanford Axe from Cal, while others pretended to be newspaper photographers. And so when the Cal student, a.k.a. the guardian of the axe, was about to board the armored car that was going back to the bank,
armored car.
The fake photographers all snapped their flash bulbs at the same time, temporarily blinding the guardian of the axe. Then the rest of the Immortal 21 jumped him. One of the Stanford students put him in chokehold. Another Stanford student grabbed the axe. A third Stanford student threw down a tear gas canister that they'd been given by someone from the San Mateo Sheriff's Department specifically for this purpose.
God.
Under the cover of tear gas, most of the rest of the Immortal 21 run off to 3 waiting getaway cars. But a few of them remained. dressed as phony Cal students who then helped form a search party and lead the real Cal students in the wrong direction.
Oh, that's smart.
Nerds, right? I thought you'd like this.
God bless them.
Meanwhile, in their getaway cars, the Stanford students drove fast as they could back to the safety of their campus in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Returning with their beloved Axe, they were greeted as conquering heroes.
This is 1930. So there's no Bay Bridge.
No.
So they had to go down and around.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they'd done it. Wild, right? They saved their Axe.
Right.
Worried, though, that this might one day lead to some real act of violence, other than what we've seen so far in pursuit of revenge and getting the Axe back, the school administrators from Cal and Stanford got together, and they're like, give us the damn Axe. So they seized the Stanford Axe, and to quell any future incidents, they agreed to make the Stanford Axe, as you pointed out, the trophy given to the winner of the annual rivalry college football game, a.k.a. the Big Game.
The Big Game.
And their annual tradition continues to this day.
That's right. Wow.
And, oh, by the way, postscript, the guy who bought the dress in the city and dressed up in drag and snuck the Axe onto the ferry to Berkeley, Everett Brown, he ended up becoming a judge for the Alameda County Superior Court.
So it didn't ruin his legal career.
Did not. Not only that, he also went on to become the president of the Cal Alumni Association because clearly the man has school spirit.
Exactly.
So what's our ridiculous takeaway here?
Oh, my goodness. I think, these kind of rivalries provide such a good outlet for energy and, that's the school spirit, you know, and I'm all for any distraction, fun antics.
Yes.
And what is your ridiculous takeaway?
I love college football, and I love that, in fact, it's supposed to be like basically a stand-in for war.
Yeah.
And that they layered all of this on top of a stand-in for war. I just love that. Like, they made it's just a very human expression to me. I love, as you put it, the school spirit. I also love, the lengths that they're willing to go to. Like, at any point, someone could have fallen on the Axe and died.
Oh, sure.
But they're willing to risk that just for the joy of bringing the Axe back to either Cal or Stanford.
Yeah.
So I love the stories that we tell ourselves.
That's the truth.
So there you go. Yeah, are you in the mood for a talk back?
Oh, am I?
Producer D, can you wash us all down with a lovely talk back?
Talk backs. Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Hi, Zaron, Elizabeth, and producer Dave. I have something funny and ridiculous to share with you. I just finished listening to the episode titled Tonight There's Going to Be a Jailbreak, where you referenced Kaiser Sose from The Usual Suspects. I have a friend who calls me Kaiser Sose, and what's really ridiculous and funny about that is I do actually have cerebral palsy. Draw your own conclusions. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
We love you too.
Oh my God, I love that.
And I'd like to believe that you're also known as Kaiser Sose because you get away with stuff.
Right? You've concocted all of these grand plans. It's awesome. I love it.
Well, as always, you can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on social media. It's mostly Blue Sky and Instagram. And also, we have the account Ridiculous Crime Pod on YouTube. Please go like, subscribe, listen to some episodes. It's a great place to hear us. And we have our website, ridiculouscrime.com, which I believe won David Fincher's Filmmaker of the Year for Canada's province, Alberta. So
you're
very
kidding.
excited about that.
I had no idea we were even up for that again.
I didn't even know we made movies, but look at us.
Well,
so also, you can email us if you want at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We love to hear your emails, just like we love to hear your talkbacks, which you can go to the iHeart app, download that, leave a talkback. Maybe we'll hear your voice here. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next crime. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by LSU's Right Honorable Protector of Mike the Tiger, Dave Kuster. And starring Annalise Rucker as Judith. Research is by the guardian of the Ridiculous Crime fact sheet, Marissa Brown. Our theme song is by our house band, We Got Spirit, Yes We Do, We Got Spirit, How About You, a.k.a. Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. The host wardrobe provided by Botany 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkle Shot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are Ben, How Much for One Football, Bolin, and Herbert Hoover's shady accountant, Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.